Time is not just passing, it's leaving you behind. Right now, as you sit here, breathe, listen, seconds are slipping through your fingers. And the harsh truth, you don't get them back. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you finally feel ready. We like to believe we have time to start, time to fix things, time to become who we said would be. But that belief is the biggest lie we tell ourselves, because every moment you waste is a silent decision, a decision to stay where you are, a decision to watch your life, instead of living it. And one day you will wake up, not with regret for what you did, but for everything you didn't do. This isn't about motivation. This is about reality. And the reality is harsh. If you don't take control of your time will take control of your life. You say you're busy, but what you really are is distracted. There's a difference, and deep down, you know it. Being busy feels productive. It gives you an excuse, a shield, a way to tell yourself you're trying. But distraction is comfortable. It asks nothing from you. It lets you avoid the hard choices, the uncomfortable growth, the responsibility of becoming the man you said you would be. Men often confuse movement with progress because it protects their identity. If you admit you're distracted, you admit you're avoiding something that matters. And that's difficult. From a man's perspective, it feels like pressure, expectations to provide, to succeed, to lead. But from a woman's perspective, it looks different. It looks like inconsistency. It feels like potential being wasted, not because you're incapable, but because your focus is divided. Distraction is subtle because it disguises itself as relief. A quick scroll, a short break, one more delay. But those moments stack up, and over time, they shape how you're seen and how you see yourself. Respect, both self-respect and the respect others give you, comes from focus, from presence, from doing what you said you would do, even when it's inconvenient. Someday is not a plan. It's a delay disguised as hope. It sounds harmless, even optimistic, but it quietly pushes your life further away from you. Men tell themselves, someday, because it removes pressure today. It creates the illusion that there's still time to become disciplined, to build something meaningful, to step into responsibility. But that word, someday, keeps you comfortable in the present while stealing from your future. Men hold on to someday because it protects their ego. As long as it hasn't started, it hasn't failed. There's no risk, no judgment, no exposure. From the inside, it feels like patience, like waiting for the right moment. But from a woman's perspective, it often feels like hesitation. It looks like promises without action, intention without direction. Not because she expects perfection, but because consistency builds trust and delay erodes it. Someday slowly rewires how you see yourself. Each time you postpone, you teach your mind that your word doesn't carry weight, that your goals are optional, that discipline can wait. And over time, people don't lose respect for your dreams. They lose respect for your pattern of postponing them. Comfort feels safe, but it quietly takes more than it gives. It wraps itself in routine, in ease, in the familiar, and convinces you that staying where you are is enough. For many men, comfort becomes a reward they haven't earned yet, a place to rest before the work is done. It feels deserved, but in reality, it delays growth, postpones responsibility, and keeps potential locked away. Men are wired to seek challenge, yet comfort dulls that instinct over time. It replaces urgency with excuses, discipline with convenience. From the inside, it feels like balance, like taking it easy after a long day. But from a woman's perspective, it often looks like stagnation. It feels like watching someone capable choose the easier path again and again, not because he lacks strength, but because he avoids discomfort. Comfort is expensive because it charges you in time and identity every time you choose. Ease over effort. You reinforce a version of yourself that settles. And slowly, without realizing it, you start believing that this smaller version of you is enough. Even when you know you were built for more, every delay is not neutral. It's a choice you're making in real time. It may feel small, almost invisible, but it carries weight. When a man says, "I'll do it later," what he's really saying is, "This doesn't matter enough right now." And those moments don't disappear. They stack, shaping direction, defining identity, and slowly determining the kind of life he builds. Men often see delay as harmless because there's no immediate consequence. It protects them from pressure, from discomfort, from the risk of falling short. But psychologically, it creates a pattern of avoidance. From a man's perspective, it feels like control, like choosing when to act. From a woman's perspective, it often feels like uncertainty. It looks like hesitation, where there should be clarity, like inconsistency, where there should be leadership, not because perfection is expected, but because reliability builds trust. Delay rewrites your internal standard without asking for permission. Each time you push something forward, you teach yourself that action is optional and commitment is flexible. And over time, people don't just respond to what you say you'll do. They respond to the repeated decision to wait instead of act. Time is not standing still for you. It is moving forward without asking permission. It doesn't slow down when you hesitate, and it doesn't pause when you feel unprepared. While you delay, life keeps advancing, opportunities keep shifting, and the space you once had begins to close. What feels like waiting is often just losing ground without realizing it. Men often believe they can catch up later, that there will be another chance to prove themselves. It's a comforting thought because it removes urgency. But time doesn't create space for you to return. It fills that space with someone else who is willing to act sooner. From a man's perspective, it feels like patience, like holding back until the right moment. From a woman's perspective, it often looks like missed timing, like watching potential fade because action never matched intention. Replacement doesn't happen loudly. It happens quietly and consistently. Someone else takes the opportunity, earns the respect, builds the discipline you postponed. And it's not personal. It's simply the outcome of movement versus hesitation. In relationships, in work, in purpose, presence matters. When you're absent through delay, something or someone else steps in to fill that gap. Time replaces not just your opportunities, but the version of you that could have existed. The man you are capable of becoming is shaped by what you do now, not what you promise later. The life you want is not far away. It's just on the other side of discipline. It's not hidden, it's not reserved for someone else, and it's not a matter of luck. It exists in the daily choices you avoid, in the effort you postpone, in the standards you lower when no one is watching. Discipline is not about intensity. It's about consistency, and consistency is what most men struggle to maintain when motivation fades. Men often wait to feel ready, to feel driven, to feel certain before they act. It makes sense because action without certainty feels risky. But discipline was never built on feelings. It was built on commitment. From a man's perspective, discipline can feel restrictive, like giving something up. From a woman's perspective, it often looks like stability, like direction, like a man who can be relied on not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Discipline shapes how you see yourself before it shapes how others see you. Every time you follow through, you reinforce trust within yourself. Every time you fall back into excuses, you weaken that trust. And over time, your identity becomes a reflection of those repeated actions. Not what you say you'll do, but what you consistently prove you can do. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not filled with ideas. It's filled with habits. It's built in the moments when no one is applauding, when no one is seeing. pecking when it would be easier to stop, and that's where most men lose ground. Not because they lack ability, but because they underestimate the quiet power of showing up every single day.